The Iffish Language, formed at about March 20th, 2017, up till now. The Iffish language is basically all English words with an A replacing the last word of every possible English word in the English alphabet. For example, English dog and English mice translates into Iffish, dog to doa, and Iffish for mice, for Mika. And English feet is feet, and Iffish feet is fia. All names and places in Iffish do not change in any way like all languages in the world, like Spanish, for instance. In Iffish, ly is changed to la, or li is changed to la. So, and if you have ing, you change ing to an o. So ing is o in Iffish. All other words end with an A in Iffish. There's no other exceptions. All words end with an A in Iffish. If the word has an A already at the end of the word, then you just add another A on it. Instead of saying I, say ah. For example, in English, cat is cat. In Iffish, cat is kaya. In English, foreverly is foreverly. In Iffish, foreverly is forlila. In English, eating is eating. In Iffish, eating is ito. In English, plane is plane. In Iffish, plane is playo. There is no am and I'm in Iffish. Instead, am and I'm and a are all represented in aa. For example, in English, I am eating is translated to Iffish as aa ito. In Iffish, all plural words end with an s. It is the only time aa is aas. For instance, in English, cats is cats. In Iffish, cas is kas. When you write in the Iffish language, you do not use periods. You instead use periods with a curve called p-curves. And the curve goes to the left. So for normal sentences, you do the period curve. But when you do exclamation marks, you have exclamation mark with a left curve on the dot. And it's for loud and exciting sentences. A dot with a right accent mark and left curve is a dot for sad sentences and endings. And a left accent mark with a left curve on the dot is for happy sentences. So the opposite of the sad one is for happy sentences. The question mark with a left curve on the dot is for questions in Iffish. If a period with a string on it in a sentence has a curve to the left, it is the last word of the whole sentence is quickened in pace. And if it's the opposite in the right, if the string is in the right, goes to the right, the last word of the sentence increases in the pace of the speaking of the word. For instance, A with exclamation mark B, and A with a right want to be That is basically how that goes. And you can and all the dots with a string on them, they can also replace the comma in that is in English. So if it does not have commas, they have those things instead. And you can also put a dot in every single word, and this can mean anything the author desires. And it could be on any letter or word. For instance, you can have cat with the dot in the middle of the word, and it can mean dog. This is very useful for Iffey politics in many ways. Also, when you have AI or ia, it can be it is, and is it. and a two-letter word that starts with I. Now let's look at the sentences. An excited sentence or exclamation mark in English is help, I need food. In Iffish is hello, I need food. Sad sentences in English is why is the phone broken? In Iffish is why is the phone broken? A happy sentence, aka normal sentence in English is I love to play outside. And in Iffish is I love to play outside. Questions in English is the cold outside? And in Iffish, questions are é cold outside? Anything else that was not explained in this video is because in Iffish is the same as in English, making Iffish and English very related languages, but everything else is the same between both languages. You can use these rules in this video in order to expand the Iffish language to create more complex sentences using these rules. And this will formulate the entire Iffish language and will make very, very interesting conversations. There is also higher Iffish. Since today we just learned lower Iffish. Higher Iffish is what is used in national anthems of Iffey, like Iffey Felive Lastro. But it's very much a very high-end language that is only for not for government members, but it's for just Glorious Leader himself, making this video not need for you to understand higher Iffish. So bye, and remember, lika ea scribia.